Hello everyone, my greetings to one and all. This is the fifth session on sustainable economic development. In the previous session, you have learned about the extent of water contamination and air pollution due to economic development. I am Poonam Vohra from Egypt Economics Learning Center. This session focuses on impact of development on climate, that is through global warming and ozone layer depletion. Let's understand these aspects. Let us begin with having a very basic information about weather, climate and climate change. It is relevant because sometimes weather and climate are taken as one, but there is slight difference. So let's go by that. Weather is atmospheric condition that occur locally over short period of time, varying from minutes, hours or to days. For example, rain, snow, clouds, winds, floods, or even thunderstorms. These are for certain number of hours or for certain number of days. So far as climate is concerned, it is a long-term, regional or even global average of temperature, humidity and rainfall patterns over seasons, years or decades. That is seen in global warming or sea level changes. So when one talks about climate change, it is change in the usual weather found in a place. This could be a change in how much rain a place usually gets in a year, or it could be a change in a place usual temperature for a month or season. Climate change is also a change in Earth's climate. This could be change in Earth's usual temperature, or it could be change in whether rain and snow usually fall on Earth. Weather can change in just few hours. Climate takes hundreds or even millions of years to change. So, climate change is a long-term change in the statistical distribution of weather patterns over periods of time that range from decades to millions of years. The main cause of climate change is burning fossil fuels such as oil, gas and coal. When burnt, fossil fuels release carbon dioxide into the air, causing the planet to heat up. This we need to remember. So with the burning of fossil fuels, Earth's atmosphere becomes thick with gases and substances which trap the sun's radiation, making the Earth warmer. This is called greenhouse effect. This effect has its impact on every activity of the economy. If one talks about India, its GDP increased by 357% from 1990 to 2014, which led to an increase in greenhouse gas emissions by 180%. So relative to GDP, India emits twice as many greenhouse gases as the world average. Obviously, the reason is burning of fossil fuels, and this has been fueled by the energy sector, followed by agriculture, land use changes and forestry, industrial processes and waste. India's state-owned company Coal India tops the list with the largest greenhouse gas emission. Besides this, three other companies, that is NTPC, Reliance Industries, ONGC are among 100 global businesses with the highest carbon footprint. In 2019, India is the world's third largest emitter of greenhouse gas emissions. Coal power plants, rice, paddy, and cattle are the major source of emissions, though per capita emission is much below the global average. As such activities form carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, the outcome is climate change, flooding in coastal cities, increasing number of droughts, migration of species, desertification of fertile areas, food shortages, spread of diseases, and devastating hurricanes. As a result, there has been 22% increase in India's greenhouse gas emissions between 2010 to 14, where energy sector is responsible for 73% of the total greenhouse gas emissions. Past observations indicate that the annual mean temperature of India has shown a significant warming trend of 0.51 degrees centigrade per 100 years during the period 1901 to 2007, with increased warming during 1971 to 2007 as per the source as provided. So India continues to bear the brunt of extreme weather events. India is vulnerable to climate change due to melting of Himalayan glaciers and changes to the monsoon. In 2018, 11 states recorded extreme weather events which claimed more than 1400 lives. Another impact is global warming. It is the long-term heating of Earth's climate system due to human actions, that is, burning of fossil fuels, land clearing, or agriculture. These have increased the presence of carbon dioxide. Such human actions increase the presence of carbon dioxide and methane gases in the atmosphere, causing them to absorb sunlight and solar radiation that increases the temperature on the planet. Normally, this radiation would escape into space, but these pollutants, which can last for years to centuries in the atmosphere, trap the heat and cause the planet to get hotter. That's global warming. The burning of fossil fuels to make electricity is the largest source of heat trapping pollution, producing about 2 billion tons of carbon dioxide every year. Coal burning power plants are by far the biggest polluters, followed by the transportation sector, which generates 1.7 billion tons of carbon dioxide. So it's a gradual increase in the average temperature of Earth's atmosphere and its oceans, a change that is believed to be permanently changing the Earth's climate. The scientific consensus is that the average temperature of Earth has risen between 0.4 to 0.8 degrees Celsius over the past 100 years. A study was published in the journal Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences. It showed that the growing concentration of greenhouse gases in Earth's atmosphere since 1960 have enriched cool countries like Norway and Sweden, while dragging down economic growth in the warm countries like India and Nigeria. So it is worth mentioning that the global warming in Indian Ocean has disturbed the weather system in the Indian subcontinent and weakened monsoon in India, on which a majority of farmers depend for their livelihood. Global warming has caused the Indian economy to be 31% smaller than it would have been for the period 1961 to 2010, as per the Stanford study, which shows how Earth's temperature changes have increased inequalities. Unable to improve its air quality, protect its biodiversity, and cut its greenhouse gas emissions, India stands today at the bottom of the Global Environment Performance Index rankings. In 2016, the country had ranked 141 out of 180 countries. In 2018, it slipped to 177th position. Ozone depletion is related to global warming. It is a gradual thinning of Earth's ozone layer in the upper atmosphere caused by the manufactured chemicals, especially manufactured halocarbon refrigerants, solvents, propellants, foam blowing agents. Ozone hole is a major environmental problem as it increases the amount of ultraviolet radiation that reaches Earth's surface. It increases skin cancer, eye cataracts, damages genetic and immune system. Ultraviolet B rays negatively affect plants and crops. It may lead to minimal plant growth, smaller leaf size, flowering and photosynthesis in plants, lower quality crops for humans, and decline in plant productivity would in turn affect soil erosion and carbon cycle. The Montreal Protocol, an international treaty, 1987, was enacted to halt the production and use of ozone depletion chemicals. As a result of continued international cooperation, ozone layer is expected to recover over time. Now, assess yourself. Read this information and answer one simple question. Climate change promises a frightening future, and it's too late to turn back the clock. We've already taken care of that by pumping a century's worth of pollution into the air, nearly unchecked. Even if we stopped all carbon dioxide emissions tomorrow, we would still see some effects, says Alia Haq, Deputy Director of NRDC's Clean Power Plan Initiative. The question to you is, mention at least 5 impacts of global warming. Please check your answer. Some of the impacts of global warming include 1. More frequent and severe weather. 2. Higher temperatures are worsening many types of disasters, including storms, heat waves, floods, droughts. 3. Higher death rate. And 4. Dirtier air. And obviously loss of biodiversity. I hope you have understood these concepts of global warming and ozone layer depletion, how they are affected by economic development, and what is its impact on the entire economy or on the entire globe. It is very, very concerning. So one has to be very careful from now onwards. With this, the session comes to an end. The next session focuses on impact of economic development on land use. Till then, keep reading, keep learning, keep updating yourself.